I am a big fan of party games. The kind of games you can whip out in front of all of your friends and get into without much of a hassle. The best party games use simple mechanics, and through these mechanics create a large array of unique situations to keep the game interesting. Mario Party is no exception to this rule, a series that's been ongoing since the late 1990s and ever since has spawned countless amounts of sequels and spin-offs. I am a big fan of this franchise, and it's given me countless amounts of laughs, entertainment, and rage-fueled moments alike. And even though these are quite old games by now, they are still the go-to party game for me to play because they really encompass all the factors that make for an amazing board game experience. Yet, something that it's also allowed me to do is become extremely critical of the newer Mario Party games developed by Nintendo's subsidiary, NDCube. These things. For after Mario Party 8, Hudson Soft was no longer in the developer hot seat, and it really shows. As a result, I am making this video as a deep dive into the world of NDCube Mario Parties, seeing what they attempted and whether they did so successfully. At the end, I'm going to give my overall opinion and have a bit of an outlook on the series as a whole. So, without further ado, let's get into it. NDCube entered the squared circle with an absolute trailblazer of a game, ushering in an era of utter disappointment, all starting with this one single game, Mario Party 9. What becomes immediately apparent with this game is the complete removal of coins and stars. This amazing, simple balance between currency and victory points is now gone. These have been replaced with a single, universal measurement of progress. Mini-stars. Now, apart from the fact that no one asked for this, mini-stars enter the ring being a controversial new mechanic that needs to impress with about the worst possible implementation imaginable, being the first and foremost part in what I would call one of Mario Party 9's biggest problems. It's too much luck. I'll get back to mini-stars in a second. First, I want to talk about yet another one of Mario Party 9's innovations. That being that everyone in the game now moves in the same vehicle. No longer do you get to choose your own path, go your own way, and do your own thing. Now, whenever you're not rolling, which is 75% of the entire game by the way, you are at the mercy of whatever this guy, and this guy rolled before you. And unlike before, where being an individual allowed you a lot of control about your movements and your game plan, the majority of that is now gone. 75% of your game is now determined by everyone else, which creates some wonderful moments. I've handed players entire games for free, just because I got a bit unlucky with a single dice roll.
Yeah. That's one mini game. That's two mini games. Three mini games. Just one.
Yes, unlucky situations are inherent to the series, however, so much control has been taken away from the players in Mario Party 9 that getting unlucky just feels so much more unfair. That's not helped by the fact that the item depth has been exponentially thinned, and that many of the old spaces which allowed for currency to be exchanged, for example Boo and the item shop, are gone. Mario Party 9 also started a trend of making mini-games useless. You've already seen the absolute piss take that is these mini-star gates which are scattered absolutely everywhere around the map, giving anyone who passes them free mini-stars. And to put those numbers into actual context, this is the chart for how many mini-stars you can receive after playing a single minigame. And these are the amount of mini-stars you can receive from one gate. Winning minigames is no longer an essential part of the game. In fact, with enough luck on someone's side, they're completely unnecessary. The classic Mario Party formula has not been changed. It has not been innovated. It has been taken, ripped at its limbs, cut into several parts, and beaten into smithereens with a hammer. And with so much depth and so much content stripped, the only other way I can describe Mario Party 9 is a stale. What, in all honesty, is there to keep you coming back? The formula is boring, the maps are generic and linear, there's no depth to it at all, and to be perfectly honest, the actual minigames, they're nothing to write home about. Yeah, the boss minigames are a good idea, but again, there is so much unnecessary arbitrary luck involved with things such as boss minigames which are entirely based on luck, the finishing blow bonus, and the captain bonus, that it's hardly a solution to the luck problem. In fact, in certain situations, it only exacerbates it. There's a popular saying that something can be as wide as an ocean and as deep as a puddle. Mario Party 9 isn't the ocean. Hell, Mario Party 9 isn't the puddle. Mario Party 9 is the individual raindrop. And if I had to pick out a single, genuinely positive aspect about this game, Koopa's in it. This is why Mario Party 10 came in as an absolute shocker, as I started to realize that it was kind of like Mario Party 9, but on the Wii U. I mean, I'm sure some people were absolutely infatuated by Mario Party 9, but was it really that amazing that you had to basically copy and paste it for the Wii U? Yeah, okay, I understand. A lot of the older Mario Party games do also share a lot of similarities. However, those are actually fun games, so it can be excused. What's the excuse this time? That Mario Party 9 was so epic that almost nothing had to be changed? I mean, yeah, okay, it does have some things that are better than Mario Party 9, like the graphics are way better, the board designs, even though there's less, they're actually kind of unique, and the Bowser mode apparently is pretty good. But for the main party mode, the main reason you would even get the game in the first place, where is it? What's the hook? It's definitely not in the main party mode, definitely not in the amiibo mode, so I guess the only reason you would ever play this game is for the Bowser mode? Alright. Mario Party Island Tour is a complete waste of your time, and you should never play it. The only interesting part of it is that each board has a unique mechanic, but this means absolutely naught if each one of those mechanics has abysmal execution. Let me just preface this by saying that Mario Party DS, one of the best Mario Party games ever made, and I suspect that the only reason this game was seemingly rushed out into the market is because Nintendo desperately wanted a Mario Party on the 3DS. But this just ain't it, chief. If you wanted a good 3DS Mario Party, you should have just remastered the DS one. That's the only one we want. Too many boards in this game are either too bland, too underdeveloped, or straight up not fun. There were many a times during my play session with my chin on my palm, desperately waiting for it to end. It's just so boring. There really is nothing to this game, and I don't even really know what else to say. If you do ever, for some godforsaken reason, pick this game up, please stay far away from Carmac's Carpet Ride. That may actually be the worst board in Mario Party history. It's completely useless, boring, bland, and no one should ever be subjected to its awfulness. The minigames of Island Tour are also catastrophic, with a lot of them either boggling down to luck, terrible development, or simply not being fun in the slightest. Now, minigames aren't only useless, but now I can't even look forward to them. It sucks. Mario Party Island Tour, it sucks. Just don't waste your time. And hey, it's not like Island Tour is the be-all end-all of 3DS Mario parties, because NDCube made sure to produce 2 more. Ha. Mario Party Star Rush is the epitome of meh. In fact, I think if you flip through the dictionary for the definition of meh, you'd find this game in all its non-existent glory. I will from now on use the word Star Rush in conversation as an adjective for said expression. As a wise man once said, This food is really Star Rush. Now with a cracking introduction as the one I just gave Star Rush, you may actually be surprised of the fact that this is the game that I personally enjoyed the most out of all of the ones in this video. It has a lot of shortcomings, but it also has a lot of good to it. I mean, coins, stars, individual movement, items, all of those are in. And included with those, you have some of NDCube's own ideas, such as boss minigames, partners, and a two-dimensional map. This is definitely not your usual Mario Party experience. What I find especially interesting about Star Rush is that coins have a very unique new function to them. At the end of a game, coins are converted into stars at a 10-to-1 ratio. This actually makes a lot of sense, considering that star spaces are no longer a thing in this game. Instead, stars, other than the method I just mentioned, are attained by winning in boss minigames. The way they work is that there are a set amount of bosses for each map, and they will spawn one after the other. Once all bosses have been defeated, the game will end. I actually kind of like this system. It's not really Mario Party, but it's also not a bad idea. Partners are a cool concept as well, essentially being helpers that carry their own little benefits, like map-specific abilities, their own special dice, they'll roll a D2 with you every round, which gets added to your current dice roll, and they will even join you in boss minigames. That's a cracking amount of benefits. And yeah, I was having a lot of fun with Star Rush for the first few games. But then, as I kept playing, the problems just kept mounting. Let's start with the minigames. Are they as bad as Island Tour? No. Is that a high bar to beat? No. And that is unfortunately what the minigames in Star Rush are. They're not terrible, more really forgettable and not at all interesting. Even the boss minigames aren't anything to write home about. While partners are an interesting idea, they're so overpowered. If it's just one partner that you can swap out throughout the game, I can see that more, but get this. You can have 4 partners at once, and all of these benefits will stack. This makes partners so ridiculously powerful that every new partner basically increases your chances of victory exponentially. The special dice can be pretty useful, but it's mainly the D2 that they roll and the fact that they join you for boss minigames that makes them so powerful. Imagine playing any Mario Party game and having the opportunity every round for an extra 4 to 8 points added to your dice roll. And in fact, partners are so tweaked that in some boss minigames, they are literally programmed to be as stupid as possible, because otherwise the game wouldn't even be fun to everyone else who has less to no partners. Hello, hello. Okay. Okay, cool. Look at that shit! Look at that shit! I get nothing now! I get nothing now! Okay, now this is where it gets funny. This is where it gets fucking hilarious. In other boss minigames, partners dominate, and it's almost impossible to lose if you have the most partners. Star Rush also features the ×2 card, which doubles whatever reward you get at the end of a boss minigame. This card isn't a rare item, and it's not even expensive to buy at the item shop. Yet, it's so overpowered. So, look at this. Now, you may think, oh wow, Wario just won 2 stars, well done. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. No, he won 4 stars. NDCube, why do you ruin, why, like this is not, like why do you ruin things that you have, that aren't even like conceptualized poorly? Why do you ruin them with such bullshit? Why? Do you get like kicks out of it? And yes, they stack, making this the Mario Party where you're able to receive the largest sum of stars from one place in one go. 8. The balancing is all over the place, and it ruins an otherwise decent game. While Mario Party Star Rush does a lot well, and it's filled with some great ideas, the execution is questionable. The awful balancing makes it feel rushed and unrefined. This game desperately needed more time in the oven, and just like Island Tour, once you've exhausted the content, there's only really one purpose left for the game: dust collection. Fuck this game. Mario Party, the top 100, is the most shameless, audacious cash grab that this dying franchise has ever produced from its rotting embers. I hate so much about this game. I hate how it tries to lure people in with the gimmick. I hate how the gimmick isn't even done well. And I hate how absolutely nothing in this entire game even partially justifies the obscene price point it is at. Mario Party the top 100? More like glorified Star Rush DLC. I mean, the entirety of the minigame match mode is a literal one-to-one asset flip of Star Rush. The only difference is that they removed most of the actually good parts from Star Rush, like bosses, good maps, and partners. The supposed main mode, Minigame Island, may be one of the first campaign modes where you aren't able to select your own difficulty. So instead of actually being able to choose to make the game more difficult, you're forced to play at Kirby's Epic Yarn difficulty. And that's a game where you literally cannot die. This whole game is disgusting. Please don't buy it. Please don't buy it. There will never be a scenario within the time span of human history where anyone will ever need to prefer this game over literally anything else we have talked about in this video. Karmic's Carpet Ride was a more fulfilling experience than this game. I'm done. Enough said. I had a serious dilemma with this game. I chose not to be bothered by the fact that I personally have not played Mario Party 10 because from what I have already seen, I know that my opinion of it would hardly change if I did, and I explained pretty clearly in its section why that is. This is where Super Mario Party becomes very difficult for me. A game that I also have not personally played. I would love to have some kind of first-hand experience with this game, but whenever that thought enters into my mind and I see that price tag looking at me and the seal of disapproval that, yes, indeed, NDCube worked on this game, I always have to take a step back and ask myself, will I regret paying £50 or even £30 for Super Mario Party? And the answer every time has been, yeah, probably. And this may actually come as a shock to some of you, especially if you also know something about this game. Because throughout this video, I have hammered home the point that the original formula is great as it is, don't touch it, build on it. And for the most part, isn't that exactly the point of Super Mario Party? We finally return to what, let's be fair here, Mario Party 9 or at the latest Mario Party 10 should have been. Coins and stars are back. The car is gone. Maps are branching and looping. Map events are back. The item shop is back. Even the partner mode, which is essentially Star Rush, which I liked, is in the game as well. The game looks amazing. It has exceptional presentation, and apparently the minigames, while not barn burners in themselves, are still very engaging. That is a massive and extremely impressive list of features, and I'm not going to lie, they're all correct. And a lot of these are exactly what I've been asking for this entire time. So, the most obvious question now is, what's the problem? This should be the Mario Party that I have been waiting for all of these years. But it just isn't. This game does so much well, but it's just these two factors that I'm about to list that in my eyes do not make Super Mario Party a worthwhile purchase for me. First, the maps. they're a problem. At this point, we've seen NDCube try pretty much every possible design philosophy for how to implement maps. We've had an insane amount of maps with a lot of functional similarities, fewer maps but with very unique experiences, many extremely simple maps based around a single mechanic, a good amount of maps but with many variations of them, and now to Super Mario Party, a pitifully minute selection of maps with nothing in the way of map-specific features to justify the lack of quantity. Super Mario Party has 4 maps. 4. 3 unlocked and 1 unlockable. 4 maps for a Mario Party is dismal. And to add to the problem, these maps, they're tiny. They're so small. In no way is 4 maps justified. Mario Party 2, which came out in 1999 on the N64, had 6 maps in it. They were themed, very unique, and massive. You do not have an excuse for this. The second problem with the game is that the balance is whack. Extremely whack. Minigames are once again useless, but this time, this isn't even the fault of their own implementation, but it's actually a knock-on effect from the fact that now coins are so easy to come by and so difficult to lose that minigames by extension are unnecessary. Very rarely will you not be able to afford a star or have to skip on an item because you're out of coins. Stars should not cost 10 coins in this game, and items should not cost as little as they do. And to actually talk about the items in general, the one thing NDCube never seems competent enough to figure out, yeah, they're broken again. The golden pipe is too cheap and too overpowered. 10 coins for a free star in an already inflated economy is the most laughable thing I have ever seen in my life. And it makes me wonder if anyone in quality assurance even gave a toss. I suppose by extension alone, we can find a third big problem with this game. Say a secret issue that's not necessarily related to the actual game itself, but more to NDCube and Nintendo. There have been no noteworthy patches or updates to fix any of the problems which I have mentioned in this video. The response has been silence, and in my eyes, that is unacceptable. As NDCube have shown with 10, Island Tour, and Star Rush, it's always 5 steps forward with them and another 10 back. And at this point, I am expecting to be forced to come back here again in the future when NDCube have had another crack at it and messed it up again. We're 6 NDCube Mario Parties down the hatch, and we only seem to keep falling. Further down, and down, and down. However, I do want to emphasize that I don't entirely blame NDCube for the faults within this series, contrary to what this video might have made you believe. It is very evident from the series' history that Nintendo treats its Mario parties in a very similar manner to how Twitter users treat their tweets. They just keep shitting them out. And maybe this is a philosophical difference between Hudson Soft and NDCube. When Hudson Soft gets made by Nintendo to force out a totally new Mario Party game every other year, Hudson Soft realizes that all they can really do is stick with the formula and build on top of it. So while a lot of the earlier Mario parties may feel samey in their formula, ultimately it's a formula that works, and that's why so many of these games are still so beloved. NDCube really seems like they do want to innovate in the franchise, but time and time again, it's clear that their efforts are hampered by a release schedule too tight for their ambitions, which would explain why so many of these Mario parties feel rushed, unfinished, and unbalanced. And in my eyes, if you find yourself in a situation where you want to innovate, yet find yourself with almost no time or resources to make those ideas actually come to life, maybe you shouldn't innovate at all.